Jameel, great to catch up with you as always. Your impressions of the summit?
Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to contribute. So it definitely is a historic moment, a very unprecedented summit that some had doubts over whether it would really go ahead. In terms of the summit itself, it certainly looks positive. It seems like President Trump and the North Korean leader, Jong-Un, got on. It seems like there's improved relations between the United States and North Korea. This will be seen as very good for risk appetite because the US and North Korea relations and those tensions that were there since last August were seen as a significant risk for the financial markets. So now we've removed some of that risk element, at least for now, out of our premiums. We think that there's going to be a more risk appetite, which means stronger appetite towards global stocks. This could help present some opportunities towards the emerging market currencies as well as a result of increased risk appetite. And it should also encourage some additional support to our high yield in emerging market currencies as well, which of course includes the South African rand.
And that's the thing, though. One would have expected to see a stronger reaction from the rand than we did see today. We're only just a couple of cents firmer. Is there anything sort of lurking around that's holding the rand and other emerging markets from gaining even further?
Some could attribute that the US interest rate decision that's scheduled tomorrow, where the Federal Reserve are largely expected to raise US interest rates, could be weighing on sentiment. However, one other possibility is that yesterday there was quite a positive reaction in the global stock markets following what was quite a unpredictable G7 summit. And it's possible that investors priced in before the summit in Singapore today that there would be a positive outcome, which is possibly why the reaction as the summit has concluded is a little bit more muted, but I still say it's positive over the medium and longer term.
Right, so positive over the medium and longer term. I mean, very little detail was actually divulged into exactly how this agreement on a denuclearization will take place. I mean, we've got two very hot-headed sitting leaders, one in the US, one in North Korea. Have we seen the end of, the standoff that has taken place for the past couple of months, or is there a risk that because there's not very much detail here, we could see further tensions resurfacing further down the line?
It's a good question, and it's certainly going to be on the mind of others as well. Look, it's very unprecedented that President Trump and the North Korean leader did meet today. This is the first time ever that a sitting US president has met North Korea, and we also have to take into account that North Korea itself and the North Korean leader has been in isolation from the global world now for quite some time. So this is still very significant and positive that they've met. And by all accounts, it seems to have been a positive meeting. So I do think there's room for optimism. Of course, we need to monitor what the declaration will be and what steps North Korea will take to go towards complete denuclearization. This is a term we're using. But certainly, this was a huge risk for the financial markets. North Korea, US tensions, what could potentially have become a military conflict? That was the question being asked. And a lot of that uncertainty seems to have been removed today. And there's optimism that there will be improved relations between the two moving forward.
And just a quick one, the Korean won, you had said that it had rallied quite significantly ahead of the summit. Perhaps you can take us through the moves that we've seen today, and particularly what we could see when sanctions against North Korea are lifted and investments really start to trickle through.
Yeah, so the South Korean won action today, the reaction's been a little bit more muted, like you pointed out, for the emerging market currencies. But over the past couple of days, it did seem to gain ahead of the summit with a little bit of uncertainty following the G7 unpredictable conclusion over the weekend. South Korea stands to gain from this as much of North Korea potentially, because South Korea and North Korean relations have over recent weeks improved to an extent that some would have thought were unimaginable given the past relations between the two. Likewise for North Korea and the United States. So I do think that the South Korean won will certainly enjoy the reduced pressure there is now on this tension between the US and North Korea. And there is room to be positive on the emerging market currencies as a result of what seems to be a positive summit in Singapore.